Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Disclosures.
All right. Hello, everyone on the internet and in the studio with us today.
And a happy International Credit Union Day to you.
That's right. Pretty exciting. October 15th, 2015. So we are the Disclosures, as you heard, by day. And actually, all the time, I'm Christopher Morris, but by day, I work at the National Credit Union Foundation.
And I'm Chad Helmanack, and I work at Heritage Credit Union here in Madison.
That's
and
right.
in not our day jobs, we like to rock about things we care about. And one of those things is credit unions and also financial education. But today we're going to be focusing on credit unions because it's a really special day for our collective movement. And a side note before we get started, I think, and a good note to mention is this is a pretty loose presentation. We have done this quite a few times, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Us? To a lot of different audiences, but we don't exactly follow the script, and it doesn't mean we're going to be edgy or anything. But
No, it's going to be loose. We play some songs, we talk. It's kind of like VH1 Storytellers a little bit, if you remember that show. So we'll play some songs, we'll talk, and I hope you have a lot of fun and learn maybe a couple things.
I'm just trying to cover up that I tell bad jokes.
Yeah.
And
so
that
it's all good.
I don't want to pretend. I just want to pretend I didn't rehearse them. So.
And it's a special. We've never done a special International Credit Union Day performance, so. We gotta, there's your disclosure for the Disclosures right there.
Exactly, and for an industry that's given us so much throughout our careers, we want to give a little something back. So this presentation is really for the credit unions out there and you guys tuning in. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so I think if it makes sense. I mean, we talk a little bit about ourselves, but we have a song that kind of introduces us. We're gonna play that for you real quick.
We're the Disclosures, we are here. The name of the band is the Disclosures, in case we haven't been clear. You might think we're brothers, we get that every day. Not by mothers and not by nature, but brothers by trade. Hey, we're the Disclosures, we are here. Say our names in the mirror 3 times and we'll magically appear.
We might blow a mind in twos, forgive us in advance. We're guys with day jobs and rugged nights, so get on up and dance, rock.
Hey, we're the Disclosures, we're so glad to be here on International Credit Union Day. In Madison, Wisconsin, and also appearing online on your computer
Or your mobile device.
During this lovely time of year.
I am Chris and this is Chad. We met and wrote some songs.
Our moms think we're pretty cool, and if you disagree, you're wrong. Hey, we're the Disclosures, we are here. We bring you the gift of song. It's like a souvenir for your ears. So you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. So we are the Disclosures, like we said, and we've been around for a while, for about 5 years. Chad and I met the National Credit Union Foundation where I work. Actually, at the time, I didn't work there, but I was mentoring at this program called DE Training, Credit Union Development Education Training. It's a boot camp on credit union philosophy and principles. So Chad and I met for the first time, realized we both really passionate about credit unions and also love music. So we got together and formed this crazy band.
Yeah, and the training was monumental in 2 ways. One was I learned a lot about the industry, and it turned my job into a career, but also meeting Chris, realizing we had a similar passion in music, and that we had a common bond there that we needed to put together with each other in that we like credit unions and music so much. Let's see if we can do something crazy, put those things together.
Yeah, so we wrote a song for a contest, which we're going to play in a little bit, and that led to, hey, we should do a whole album to help credit unions around credit unions, to kind of teach them. We realized music and humor was an effective way to get the word out, so we did a whole CD, the first credit union CD, proud to say still #1 in the credit union rock charts to this day, 5 years later. So this is Hey We're the Disclosures, and credit unions use it for a new employee orientation, on hold music, play in their lobbies, and it was really cool for training. And then we took all that music and kind of turned into an education session, kind of a longer version of what we're doing now, and played it at staff trainings, played it at credit unions, chapter meetings, league meetings, everywhere across the country for a few years, which was amazing.
And we wanted to do that because we wanted to share this great message of what credit unions did. But we also want to encourage others to be creative, not just share our music, but come up with their own. And not just music, but other creative ideas to talk about credit unions. But then we realized that we could take it a step further. And Chris, if you'd like to flash our other CD
Whoa,
there.
what is this that I conveniently have?
And this isn't the disclosure show. We're going to be done with
Right.
the promos things in a minute. But financial education for kids is something that Chris and I really care about. And we wanted to use our songwriting abilities to help kids learn about the basics of money, K through 5. And so we came out with another CD. And we're just looking to continue to write music and do things like this presentation that help people understand what credit unions are all about and how they can help people.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we got the CDs which credit unions could use, which is great, but we also put out a ton of videos around the songs so they could use them on their social media, use them in their staff training. Again, using music and humor to kind of get these messages out. Hey, credit unions are amazing. You know, spread the word to your members. Hey, financial education is great. You know, tell that to your members as well, to the young members. So anything we could do to keep getting the word out, for sure.
But the reason for the season is International Credit Union
That's
Day.
right.
And for those of you who may be new to credit unions, maybe you've been in it a while and you're not sure exactly what it's all about, you just know that you celebrate it at your credit union some way. It's meant to do two things. One is to reflect on where the credit union industry has been, our accomplishments, our history, both collectively and at your own credit unions. Take a look back and realize that what we've done is special so far as an industry. But it's also about raising awareness and helping other people to understand what we're trying to accomplish as credit unions and what we're doing moving forward. So it's a really special day where our movement and everybody in it, and it's a huge movement. If you're not familiar with all the moving pieces, it's really fantastic. But we all get together and we try to do special things that help people understand more about credit unions.
Yeah, and it's really cool for us to do this presentation right now because we are actually in the International Theater and at the international headquarters for the credit union movement. If you don't know, Madison, Wisconsin, for a lot of reasons, sometimes in the winter I kind of resent it a little bit, but it is in Madison, Wisconsin. Everybody's here. We have CUNA here, the National Trade Association. We have the World Council of Credit Unions, the International Trade Association. We have CUNA Mutual Group, who's also here. Their main office is in Madison, Wisconsin. Also, we should give props to CUNA Mutual Group for helping us record this presentation, so thank you to them. So we're really lucky to kind of be here, and especially me at the foundation and Chad working at Heritage, we both live and work in Madison, Wisconsin too.
And you know, we talked a little bit about National Credit Union Foundation and DE training and what that meant to us, but all of the organizations that are on this campus here have helped us, I think personally and professionally, to realize how special the industry is here. So and just a side note too, this presentation is not going to be too long, but seriously dig into some of the organizations and see the work that World Council of Credit Unions does around the world to help people develop credit unions. And CUNA Mutual and all the support they do to help credit unions. And CUNA, the great work that they do in the state leagues. There's a lot of good stuff out there and ways that you can develop your career.
Yeah, if you're ever looking, if you're ever looking for inspiration, I mean, go to the World Council website, see what they're doing in Latin American countries and some of the smaller nations. And look at the Polish credit union movement. I mean, there's so much happening. Look at CUNA Mutual Group, the Unite for Good website's got some great stories. There's some stories that really get excited about the credit union movement, for sure.
So we know you're tuning in online and hopefully with some of your credit union cohorts. And we wanted to just throw the question out there, what are you guys doing for International Credit Union Day? Because traditionally, it's been about raising awareness, and credit unions do that through open houses. They do that through contests. And sometimes it's handing out treats to members, going to radio stations and talking about what credit unions mean. It's been as large as picnics and parades in the past. So what are you guys doing in your credit union to celebrate? That's a rhetorical question because I'm talking to a camera right now.
But they're talking back to us.
That's right.
That's right now, right?
That's right. I hope so. That was the answer we were looking for. In fact, the one you just said to us.
Keep it up.
So,
good work, guys.
Yeah, through the online web, so high five. So credit unions celebrate in all different ways, though. But I think in spirit with what Chris and I are trying to do with our music, it's really about getting creative and really not being afraid to talk and even sing sometimes about all the things that credit unions do and are.
Totally. And this year, I mean, you can see it here. Hopefully you can see in the poster, but the theme this year, every year there's a different theme for Credit Union Day. It's people helping people, which I love. That's the philosophy. That's the values the credit unions at the core of every credit union, kind of their mission. So I'd like to tell you, Chad said credit unions do a variety of different things, but I've got some examples. We are on the International Credit Union campus, so I wanted to tell you just a little bit about what our partners are doing. So CUNA Mutual Group, like I said, thank you for helping us out today. They're releasing a special video for the movement, all around people helping people, kind of spotlighting what credit unions are doing in the Caribbean. So check out that. People helping people, another theme for the World Council of Credit Unions. They're doing something really cool. They're bringing credit union services to the people of Cuba for the first time. So go to creditunionsforcuba.org. Check that out and learn how you can help. Also, don't forget, they also told me to tell you, don't forget to share your celebrations with the world's 57,000 other credit unions. Did you know there's that many credit unions? Pretty amazing. Using the official hashtag ICU Day. Also, CUNA, speaking of ICU Day, they're doing a whole month-long celebration for staff. In October, they're going to be doing Pay It Forward, giving CUNA staff Pay It Forward decks and telling them to do really cool stuff in the community. They're going to have a bunch of contests, so check that out. Also, if you don't know, on the CUNA site, there's graphics, there's posters like this, and resources and tools, and you can also see what other credit unions are doing on the CUNA website. There's also a whole bunch of cool swag you can buy for your credit union, so check that out. And also, they're doing a bunch of different stuff, but they're also doing volunteer opportunities for staff. Remember, people helping people, so CUNA is saying, hey, CUNA staff, go out there with these opportunities and go do something cool in the community. So a lot of cool stuff happening just right here on campus, for sure.
So we hope your credit union's joining in all that fun and doing some fun stuff in your community as well. And for us, it is about fun. I think it's fair to say that we've had some fun with the credit union messaging. If you couldn't tell from our theme song, Chris and I like to poke fun at a little bit at each other and what we do here as a band. But we take it seriously when we talk about credit unions, talking about the difference between credit unions and other financial institutions. So Chris mentioned that one of the first things we did was enter a contest. And we had to write a song about moving your money from a bank to a credit union. And there's a lot to that, reasons why, a lot of good stuff that we can't get into now. But again, trying to take these bullet points and these things that we know working in credit unions, all the good stuff that we do, and turn that into something humorful, hopefully.
Yeah, totally. I mean, people love credit unions sometimes. They just don't know much about them. And they're like, oh, I don't like my big bank, but I want to move. And it seems so hard. So we're like, no, again, let's use music and humor and kind of and write a song about it, which we did. And the style, it's kind of our most country song that we have too, so we're going to play that for you right now.
Money in a bank.
Money in a bank.
You're looking like a fool with your money in a bank. I know my bank is a business. You gotta make money to survive. But I don't like when them big bonuses are coming from my 9 to 5.
Then a local credit union told me what they're about. Not-for-profit member-owned,
Made me wanna shout. Moving on with my money, I don't think it's so funny how my bank's been treating me. I don't know nobody up there on Wall Street, but I sure know my community.
folks up in folks, and if you think it's a hoax,
It's not, it's their philosophy. So move with me, and I think you'll agree that 2 is better than 3.
Whoa.
Chris, yeah, hang on, we gotta talk
2 is
about
better
this.
than 3?
Why is 2 better than 3?
It's a great question.
Are you gonna answer it for me?
Well, do you guys know, hopefully those of you at home or in your credit union branch might not know, but what is the answer to that question?
Well, the answer is it has to do with credit union structure versus bank structure. Credit unions have 2 parties involved, the member and the institution, members owning that institution, and then banks have the customers, the institution, and the shareholder.
Ooh.
3 interests
So there you
to
go.
2.
Yeah, so the rest of the day at the water cooler in the break room, you could drop that knowledge. It's a good conversation starter. You might be the geekiest person in your branch, but still, something to throw out there.
Let's do a little International Credit Union Day guitar solo.
There you go. I had enough, so I moved on my stuff.
It was easier than I thought it'd be. So rejoice, 'cause you have a choice. Come on and set your money free. Moving on with my money, I don't think it's so funny how my bank's been treating me.
Wish that I moved sooner. I could have bought that schooner so you could sail away with me.
Oh yeah, come Come on and sail away with me. Thank you. And a special shout out to our live audience joining here today. Thank you to our friends who could join us here in person. So that song, like I said, we wrote that 5 years ago, and that was the catapult to kind of record a whole album. That video is still up online if you want to see us. If you're watching this on YouTube, you just click right over and see the video with us in cowboy hats playing that song. Still tons of fun. Feel free to use that social media, but stuff like that. I mean, the whole point was to raise awareness. Again, the Huffington Post had a Move Your Money blog at the time, so they used that. A lot of credit unions still use it to this day, and the whole point is raising awareness. And people have been doing that. Remember, we talked a little bit about our history since the 1920s, 1930s. That's something that's been a common theme throughout the thread of the movement. Yeah, and so in learning a lot about credit unions, Chris and I were not just inspired by the structure behind them, but also the people who started the industry, who were really out in the field doing amazing work. And a lot of names you might recognize, Roy Bergegren, Ed Filene, Louise Herring. Too many to probably list here, but a lot of those individuals were part of that group that gathered at Estes Park, that were traveling from state to state, starting credit unions and police offices, fire departments, and local businesses and churches. Truly amazing stories, all of them have.
Yeah, so if you ever, again, have some free time, and if you're a trainer, you want to pull out some stories to kind of inspire your staff. And look at somebody like Louise Herring, who in her 20s was a young woman, going around Ohio and the Midwest, starting credit unions, like in factory locker rooms and basements of churches. Oftentimes, these people, like Chad said, I mean, Bergegren, all of them starting credit unions, being chased out of town by bankers. Again, the credit union idea was kind of a radical idea at the time. That common working people were taking control over the money and kind of trying to get economic democracy because there was no one out there to kind of help them. So these were the people that really laid the foundation of the current movement, for sure.
And something we talk about a lot as an industry, and as an employee of a credit union, young people may not feel like there's an exact place for us, but at Estes Park, Chris mentioned Louise Herring and her being young there. She was 25 at the time, and she was busy running around the credit union back in the 1930s, starting around 500 credit unions herself. That's amazing work and shows that youth isn't just important to our movement today, but traditionally it's been a really important part, and those people at the front end just developing credit unions like that and those numbers is amazing.
Absolutely. And there's another pioneer who, one of my favorites, Thomas Doig. He was an influential person. Again, Google him, look him up. He started over 1,000 credit unions in the Midwest, which is kind of just amazing. This is a time in the 20s and 30s, Louise Herring, all these people, Dora Maxwell, starting credit unions. They didn't have cell phones. They didn't, they weren't sending, calling up Ed Filene saying, hey, I'm in Ohio, I'm doing this. They were doing all this just literally out the backs of their cars. To start 2-3 credit unions a day, which is just fantastic. So Thomas Doig holds a special place in my heart, 1,000 credit unions. He went on to he was at Estes Park, became the managing director of CUNA Mutual, CUNA Supply, all of that worked with Roy Bergegren. We have a special thing, again, we're in the credit union campus. How cool is this? CUNA Mutual, CUNA has a long history, but CUNA Mutual actually has this fantastic archives, and I talked to them last week, and they have this really cool thing. So hold on a second while I get suited up. I'm going to show you something really cool.
Chris, don't leave me too long, okay? Because I can't handle this microphone business. Put on the white gloves.
Yes. I gotta put on the white gloves because again, this is so cool.
This is a special International Credit Union Day treat we have in store.
I feel like I'm gonna do a magic trick, but I'm not.
You should do a magic trick. Can you do one?
Well, let me get this first.
Okay. We need some suspenseful music.
So here we go. So what I got right here, thanks again to the CUNA Mutual Archives. I'm so nervous I'm gonna drop it, but I'm not.
You're fine.
I'm not. Just
You're not gonna drop it.
Slow,
You're okay.
Christopher. Okay, so this is Thomas Doig's notebook from the early 1930s when he was running around, again, at small, so he'd, going around the Midwest, just putting it in his coat pocket, doing his amazing work. And let me pick some pages here. So as you can see, here's a good example. 1933, this is his journal. Oh, sorry. So look at this, 1933, hopefully you can see this, all the scribbles, but every line here, 1933, and it goes on to 34, 35, and it's just line by line, by date. Hey, started, ABC Credit Union. I started Duluth Credit Union. I started Swift Employee Credit Union. He just basically names through. So you can see, it's really cool to see illustrated here. Wow, he'd go a day, start 2 credit unions, move down the line to another town, boom, started another 3 credit unions. Move to another town, started another credit union. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, how many credit unions get started now in this day and age, right? Not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of mergers, a lot of things happening, But just these people were just, I mean, building the movements. It's so inspiring.
Yeah, it's really tough to start credit unions nowadays with regulation and the way things are, and starting those can be really difficult. But in Thomas's day, doing something like that, you may not think about the word innovation and credit unions together sometimes, but truly innovative work. And at the time, credit union legends and the folks who were at the front end were instigators at the time and fighting a system that wasn't helping people of low and moderate income, which banks were ignoring. So thinking about how we came to be and grow, the growth rate we had too, especially if you take a look at how credit unions grew and the membership continues to grow to this day. It's truly fascinating stuff, and it puts a fine point on why credit unions still need to exist today, and that we continue to grow because there's still a need out there.
Absolutely. I mean, they started again by working people, and today, again, there's always a campaign for the little guy. We're still out there for working people, helping people with small loans, doing great work, giving people alternatives to payday loans. I mean, we're always there. That people helping people has been around for, over 100 years. Since even, another name to look up, Friedrich Reiferson in Germany in the 1860s. I mean, it all started with him in Germany. Again, the same philosophy, people helping people, is carried over to Canada with Desjardins, to the U.S. with the people like we just talked about.
Yeah, the idea of cooperative finance has always been well established and really needed in those areas. But we want to throw another question out to our internet audience there and ask you what your credit union's history is. And we'd like you to take some time today, maybe right after our session here, to talk about who were the instigators at your credit union, who was that original group who started, and why did they start your credit union? Hopefully you know that story, and if not, hopefully it reveals something fascinating to you. I know that Chris and I in our adventures, we've heard a lot of different stories, those basements and factories and churches and things, and why credit unions got started. A lot of passion and a lot of great people at those humble beginnings. So talk about your history today is what we'd encourage on this International Credit Union Day.
Absolutely. Another thing too, I mean, we talked about people and how important they are. The people that work in credit unions, I think sometimes if you go out, and I know there's been studies on this, if you ask the average credit union employee, hey, do you know the difference between a bank and a credit union? Do you know that you are actually a financial cooperative and that there's 7 cooperative principles and all of that stuff? I mean, those are all things that I hope all of you at your credit union could really do the research, do the training, and hopefully everyone in the credit union at some point can kind of, anyone, teller to the president, CEO, can give an answer to the question, hey, how are you different than that big bank down the street? And kind of talk about that.
Yeah. And it's not about memorizing bullet points or looking on CUNA's website for the definition of credit unions or looking it up on Wikipedia or something. It's really about finding the things that you care about in your credit unions. Those stories of small loans, the way you've helped members or heard stories about how you help members, the stuff that makes you stand out to other financial institutions. Take that and make that your definition of what a credit union is and how you can talk to people about it, because the things that matter to us are way more important in those stories we have than any bullet point that we could ever talk about.
Absolutely. And of course, I mean, again, we've talked to a lot of credit unions, and unfortunately, a lot of times the frontline staff, the tellers, the branch managers, MSRs, those are too often, you have executive management can talk about this all day, but the people that are talking to the members and the people walking in on the street, they're unfortunately usually the ones who know the least about the credit union. So make it a point, again, today and every day, to kind of make sure that they can understand. They understand the difference. One, to not only articulate it, but I think obviously the more you get more of your staff excited about credit unions, excited about the credit union difference, that's going to motivate them to just, I mean, like us, once we went through DE and we learned what credit unions are all about, we're like, wow, we're in this movement forever. I mean, we do amazing stuff. To know that we're part of this global movement across the world, doing good, doing social justice, people helping people, I mean, that's a powerful thing. That's a powerful thing. Some
of the most rewarding work that Chris and I have done in the past few years together is helping people understand that story and get energized. So we hope that idea energizes you a bit, because really collaboration and the way we respect and also use our differentiation in the marketplace is what's going to set us apart and really drive us forward as credit unions. So we've got a lot of potential, continue to have that, even though credit unions continue to grow and grow. There's still a lot of great work we can do.
Absolutely.
And working together is going to be a big part of that. So
totally. I feel like we talked a lot, so we should play another song.
My guitar's lonely.
It's just, yeah, I could feel it.
Yeah.
So we're going to play a song. Again, we realized this whole thing about awareness and training, again, music and humor, we found having fun with it was one way to get it across. So one of the songs, inspired by an up-and-coming rapper named Jay-Z, 98 Problems, we're going to play a few right now. And to set this up, you have to remember, you have to forget basically everything that I just said and pretend that I know nothing about credit unions. That's to kind of set it up.
This is where those acting classes really come in
Yeah,
handy that
and
you
I haven't
bought
taken
on
any acting
Groupon.
classes, so
Yeah.
it should be fun.
All right, Chris. So after we're done here at the show, I am going to have to stop at an ATM.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty sure right around the corner from campus there's a big bank.
I'm gonna need a credit union ATM, man. It's really important to me.
A credit union, a bank's a bank. What's the difference?
Huge difference between a credit union and a bank, my friend. I thought we
You know-
talked about this before.
We have talked about it a few times, but you know what? I think the only way we're gonna settle this is if we sing it out right here, right
Fine,
now
you-
on the internet.
You can start.
All right, that's cool. I got it.
You got a song in mind?
Well, if that's the case, let's sing a song, because they really do seem the same. Please tell me about some differences just beyond the name. They both do checking and both do loans, and neither's looking out for me. Cause everyone's out to make a buck, and nothing in life is free.
Well, that might be true to some extent, but what you don't understand is that credit unions are not for profit and willing to lend a hand. I got 98 props, but a bank ain't one. At the end of the day, when it's said and done, my credit union keeps it real while your bank spits rap like Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq Fu.
Oh man, Shaq Fu?
Yeah,
Really?
Shaq, get it? He's a very large NBA player. Banks are large, get it?
That's cool though. Shaq, all right, I can play the game. I can play it. See if I remember this time. Well, just like Shaq, my bank is big and they're everywhere for me. It's a small price for convenience. Heck yeah, I'll pay that fee. And if you're so bad and own the place, do they make you your own key? Cause I've been reading the business section. Y'all been way too risky.
Well, I can't throw parties at the branch or access the vault. And all that stuff you've heard in the news certainly ain't our fault. See, we operate in a different way, and we're not all fueled by greed. So what do you think about that information, Chris Morris?
Man, I'm so Chad. Let's kick this chorus.
98 problems, but a bank ain't one. At the end of the day, when it's said and done, my credit union handles my business till the break of dawn. I got 98 problems, but a bank ain't one. At the end of the day, when it's said and done, my credit union is all that and a bag of chips. A bag of chips. I love chips, Chris.
Credit union chips now, apparently.
I hope this song was informative for you.
Yeah, you know, it is. But the problem is, I feel like moving your money from a bank to a credit union, that's a lot of work. There's the accounts and just, it seems like a lot of work.
Listen, I went through the same thing that you're thinking right now. And I'll tell you, at first I was afraid. I was petrified. I kept thinking all those big banks were truly on my side. But then I spent so many nights just thinking how they did me wrong. I learned some things. Like how to spread my wings
And fly away from you, my bank. I'm moving to a credit union. I've got only you to thank. I should have moved so long ago. Now I've got the chance to make it so. Here's what I'll do.
to finally put the screws to you. I'll open up a new account. I'm not loaded, but no worries. It only takes a small amount. I ordered all my checks and got a brand new debit card. Updated my automatic bill payment services so I wouldn't lose services like Netflix because I need to get through the entire series of Saved by the Bell before they remove it from instant
I
streaming.
love you, Kelly Kapowski. Oh, sorry. Then I text Shar. She's in HR. And then my next direct deposit will be in my new account. Har har, that's me
Laughing like a pirate.
Cause it feels so good to be with a financial institution who's looking out for me. And I will survive.
As long as I have my credit unions, I know I'll be alright. I can take a big deep breath, knowing I won't be feed to death. I will survive. I will survive. Har har. Thank you.
Ooh, a little medley there for you.
Yeah. Acting, right? Brilliant.
Oh.
Am I dating myself? They used to say that on Saturday Night Live. Never mind.
And
I
scene.
digress.
All right. So yeah, that was our song. We wrote that song. The first song was off our first CD. The second song we actually did, if you remember, Bank Transfer Day a few years ago. That was the conversation. Everyone was like, I don't know, I do hate the big banks. I want to move to a credit union, but it seems so hard. So we're like, actually, it wasn't that hard. So we took basically we took a switch kit from a credit union and broke it down and wrote lyrics around it. So if you look at that song, which is still up on YouTube, you can see kind of lyric by lyric, we're telling you what to do there.
So I kind of earlier, to wrap things up here and talk about our takeaways and what we're really saying today is take those bullet points. I poked fun at those bullet points earlier, but take those and make them your own and really understand what they're saying. Chris just talked about the switch kit. What's the essence and how can we make it fun for people to understand what's in there? You can do the same thing with credit unions. Not just the general messaging, but also what your credit union's doing. Have fun with it and celebrate it because it is something to celebrate.
Absolutely. And also find your voice. We have fun, we play music, we do these videos. Find out, again, like we talked about, why are credit unions important to you? Why should others care? You all have you could have a different field of membership. You all have different, your own way of talking about the credit union difference. So find that and kind of let everyone in the credit union know, for sure.
And one fun way to do that, and fun is relative because Chris and I think this is funny, you might not, but think about asking each other at your credit union branch or at your credit union, what's your elevator pitch for credit unions? What do you say when somebody asks, what's a credit union? Or why is your credit union different from the bank down the street? And not to think about numbers and things like that, but really think about what that means to you and help each other at your credit union figure out what your answers are.
Absolutely. Also another thing you can do today is raise awareness, like we talked about. We need to raise awareness as a movement to kind of get more members, to kind of tell more people about the credit difference. It's amazing, so we need more credit members. So, raise awareness, whether it be flyer, whether it be pay it forward, whether it's volunteering, whether it's just, hey, for today, make a promise to go on your Facebook, your LinkedIn, or talk to a neighbor about credit unions. Post a link to a Smarter Choice. Talk about why you love credit unions and kind of keep spreading the word, for sure.
And also celebrate, but learn about that history too, not just your individual credit union, but some of the pioneers of credit unions. And really take that to heart. And something that helped credit unions succeed on the front end, they wouldn't have succeeded with all that heart and passion that all of those great pioneers had. So we need knowledgeable people today with passion working in our credit unions, and we need to help people find that and foster that. So really try to embrace that history and move forward with that and take that spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're all in this together, right? Together we're better. That's one of those models you hear a lot. So definitely, the more knowledgeable we are, the more we can make a difference, for sure. I think we're kind of wrapping up, but before we leave, we should plug thedisclosuresmusic.com, or you're probably on our YouTube channel, so you can click around, check out our other videos. We've got CDs. We're here. You can always ask us a question. We're on Twitter sometimes, if you want to reach us there. We're on Facebook. Check us out there. So we hope to have a conversation. If you have ideas, if you're doing cool stuff, let us know, for sure.
We love to hear about that, and a lot of people do. Sharing your message with some of our great system partners is important. We need to share those ideas, and hopefully our session has been fun for you. I know that Chris and I have fun all the time when we play together, and like I said in the beginning, we keep it loose and tell bad jokes, but we really care about this stuff and hope that you found something within this to help you celebrate International Credit Union Day a little bit better.
Yeah.
Better. Yeah, better.
You can say that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Improve your celebration. So with that, Chris, we should leave them with a quote.
Yeah, so we hope you have a great International Credit Union Day. We hope you have a great every day at your credit union. But one of our favorite pioneers is Ed Feline, the godfather of the U.S. credit movement, which sounds mysterious, but he was the father of the credit movement. I think it was a godfather.
I'm going to ask you for a favor.
He did lend $1 million of his own money.
He did, it's true.
So he loved this stuff. But anyway, he has a lot of great quotes. He has a research institute named after him. He's an amazing man. But one of our favorite quotes by him is keep purpose constant. So always keep purpose constant. I hope all of you keep purpose constant, personally, professionally, in your credit union every day. So thank you so much.
Have a great International Credit Union Day. Thank you.